So, good morning, all of you. Today we shall discuss the machine learning algorithm, that is linear regression. So, in our last class, we discussed the various aspects of an algorithm, followed by the statistical methods and their equivalence with machine learning algorithms. So, as significantly, we will see the usage of three machine learning algorithms. So we shall study them one by one. So, and the first of which is the linear regression. So linear regression is a statistical modeling and also incorporated in machine learning. This algorithm can be applied when, as a data scientist, we feel that there is a linear relationship. So when we say relationship, that has to be between at least two entities, and one of the entity, it is the output entity. So we have specific terms for them. So both of them we call it as a variable. So one is an independent variable, another one is a dependent variable. So dependent variable is also called as a outcome variable, whereas independent variable is called as a predictor variable. So output variable, we have several other terms for output variable that includes dependent variable, or label. So in the same way, the dependent variable, uh, independent variable is also called as a predictor, explanatory variable, or a feature. So different names are there. So to further simplify, we shall use the dependent and independent variable. So dependent variable means the outcome. So outcome variable. So independent means predictor variable. So the linear relationship between the outcome variable and the predictor variable, or there is a linear relationship between one variable and several other variables. So if that relationship is linear, then we can use the linear regression modeling. So we are using the word model and algorithm analogously. So is there any difference or distinction between the two? So because we use both the words model and algorithm, because two words seem to be used interchangeably when their actual definitions are not same. Whereas we define algorithm as a step-by-step procedure or set of rules to accomplish some task, whereas a model is an attempt to describe or to capture the real world. So model is description of the world, whereas algorithm is a sequence of steps to carry out a particular stuff. So there is a difference. So it seems the distinction should be obvious also. But for example, in regression, it can be described as a statistical model as well as a machine learning model. So in some ways, the historical artifacts of statistics and computer science communities, they are developing methods and techniques in parallel. They use different words, but actually they are same methods. So as a consequence of this, there is a distinction between machine learning and statistical modeling. So we'll use these words anyhow. So assuming if there is a linear relationship between an outcome variable and a predictor variable, that itself is one of the assumption. Okay. So it's also very simple to build linear functions, and non-linear functions are difficult, and hence it is a good starting point to make a linear function. So in some of the cases, so it makes sense that changes in one variable will correlate linearly with changes in another variable. So if you change one variable, then the another variable will also get changed, and that relationship is a linearity or linear. So we may consider one example that if I'm selling a product, say an umbrella. So if I sell more products, more money I will make. So there is a relationship between the number of umbrellas I sell and the amount of money which I can make. So there is a linearity is assumed. So sometimes this linearity may be hard to justify in totality. So how do we then put the linearity? So it is through line segment. So we'll draw a graph, plot a straight line, and then we'll get the linear choices. So as we saw, this y is equal to mx plus b. So that is a equation of a straight line where m is the intercept and b is a variable. So this is a linear equation. So yeah, this is b, m is a slope, b is an intercept. Yeah. So a slope of 2 means that every 1 unit change in x yields a 2 unit change in y. So that is a linear relationship. So y is equal to 2x. So if we have the knowledge of x, and that knowledge will help us in predicting an outcome variable y. So, but there exists a conditional probabilities also. So E of yi by xi is equal to alpha plus bi. So if we represent this predicted value as an individual, then yi is equal to alpha plus beta into xi plus some random error. So assuming that there will be some errors in fitting the model. So fixed exactly on a line, whereas the random error is follows a normal distribution, that is a deviation from the line. So linear regression assumes there is a relationship between x and y, and that relationship is linear. Y is distributed normally at each value of x. The variance of y at every value of x is same. Means the variation they fall, whether they are above the line or below the line, like that. And these observations are independent. So these are the assumptions that are made in linear regression. So you can observe this. Now, the lines are like that. So how can we plot a line? So this is the variance. So this standard error of y given a x is the average variability around the regression line at some value of x. So it is assumed that this is equal at all values of x. So each one of them is represented like this. Okay. So this is a regression picture. So this is a line and points are there. So when a straight line is drawn, so what is the difference? So least square estimation gave us the line beta that has maximized the c square. So let us look at some of the data sets. So this is a data set. So you can see the vitamin level on one side and DSTT score on the other side. So if you observe this, it is all scattered. So which means there is no relationship. We cannot establish any relationship over here. So relationship possibly the linear relationship. And secondly, weak relationship. So relation can be related because some line can be drawn here, but it is pretty weak. Then weak to moderate relationship, because the density of these points also matters. This is a moderate relationship. Then a slope of 0. Okay, if a straight line is drawn over here, then this is a best fit line. Depending on the number of points, their distance from this line, if we consider for the points that lie above this and the points that lie below this. So the regression equation will be 28 plus 0. Okay. So again, this is another best fit line that can be made. So with a slope of 0.5. Okay. So the different regression equation for this is 26 plus 0.5. So that is what it is. So another line can be drawn with different slope and intercept. So slope of 1 and intercept of 22. So 22 is this value where this line intersects with the y-axis. So another one, so again the slope is quite different. It's just 20. So slope is 20. Slope is 1.5 and this intercept is 20. So in all these graphs, so all the lines pass through the point that is 63 comma 28. So this is the point 63 comma 28. So 63 comma 28 is this one. So estimating the intercept and slope, so it is through least square estimation. Okay. So now one entry point for thinking about linear regression is to think about the deterministic lines first. So another equation for a straight line is equal to that is y is equal to f of x, which is equal to beta naught plus beta 1 into x. So in our textbook we use beta naught and beta 1, where beta 1 is the slope and beta naught is the intercept. Even for most mathematically sophisticated things, we'll always think about the stochastic functions. So we still have the same components with us. So let us consider this first example, an overlay of simplistic example. So suppose let us assume we are running a social networking site and we'll charge a monthly subscription fee of $25. So social networking site, monthly $25. And this is the only source of revenue we have. So each month we collect the data and count number of users and the total revenue. So if we had done this kind of calculation daily for over 2 years, okay, and we'll put all the details in the spreadsheet. So X and Y. So where X is the number of subscribers and Y is the total subscription fee. So, and we will represent it as a series of data X comma Y. So 1 comma 25, 10 comma 250, 100 comma 2500, 200 comma 5000. So these all points are there. Now, if we look at this particular data, they will get to know how much we have charged per customer. So, or anything about our business model. So before looking at our business model or what we do, when this data is being observed, so everyone will notice there is a clear relationship between X and Y. So you assume Y is equal to 25X. So 1 into 25, 10 into 25, 100 into 25, and 200 into 25. So this will likely to be, pictured in everyone's mind. So what are the things they will realize? So the things that comes into their realization will be there is a linear pattern first, and secondly, the coefficient relating to X and Y is 25. And this is a deterministic, which means given a value of X, we can find the value of Y. Or if Y is given, we can find the value of X. So that's why it is deterministic. So if the same thing is plotted as a graph, so it will fit like this. So it's an obviously a linear patterned graph. Okay, so 1 here, then this one, 10, 100, then 200, 250. Yeah. Now, when we know the straight line, if we want to check what should be the value of X number of subscribers if we want the revenue to be 4,000, then what we can do is we can draw a straight line from here and then drop it over here. So whatever X value that it intercepts is the number of members we want. So or if we want to find out if it is a 125 members, then what is the revenue? Then from 125 you draw a line, vertical line, and from here draw a horizontal line, you get the revenue. So that is one benefit of this regression line. So this was a very simple one. Now again, if we want to look at another example, so looking at the data from the user level perspective. So what happens? So suppose let us assume we have a data set that has been entered by the user, meaning that each row contains data for a single user, and the column represent the user behavior on social networking site for over a period of week. For 1 week, we are mentioning 1 row for each user. So let us say we feel comfortable that the data is very clean at this particular stage. If we order hundreds and thousands of users. So the name of the columns include the total number of friends that person is having, total new friends this week, number of visits, time spent, and number of apps downloaded, number of ads shown, gender, age, and so on. So for each user, these many columns are used to capture their behavior. So let us assume this is on a social media site. So during this course, our exploratory analysis will select the randomly 100 users, and to keep it very simple, so we'll plot a graph. So in order to observe the variation, so a pair of plot graphs are drawn. For example, X is equal to total new friends and Y is equal to time spent. To understand if there are any correlation between the number of new friends and the time spent on a site. So is it because more number of friends are there, that particular user is spending more number of time? So like that. So in the business context might eventually want us, because everything is a advertisement at the end. So we need to be certain about forecasting these things. So now let us look at this particular data. So number of users we have of several days or weeks. So this is the data, let us assume. Okay, so some rows are having this row 7, 276, 343, 482, like that. Now, when we first look at this particular data, we cannot correlate it because it is not in the order, and we cannot make out any assumption about the relationship here. So instead, what we can do is we can plot a graph. Actually, we can plot a graph, and then we'll try to identify whether there is a relationship or not. So suppose if the same thing is plotted as a graph, so just look at here. So time spent on y-axis, number of new friends on the x-axis. So when this plot is made, so we can make a linear relationship here, or we can have a linear graph. So it looks like there is a kind of linear relationship, and it makes sense. Means the more new friends you have, the more time you will spend on the social networking site. But how do we describe that relationship? There is no perfectly deterministic relationship between new friends and the time spent, but it makes a sense that there can be an association between the two variables. So for this, so we can draw graphs like this. Yeah. So we can draw linear graphs like that. So that we'll assume that there is a relationship, and we'll do. So how do we pick these lines then? So we are assuming the linear relationship. So now there are 3 lines. So which one best describes this particular relationship? Because we are assuming a linear relationship. So linear relationship, y is equal to beta naught plus beta 1x. So what are our choices to select the beta naught and beta 1? So how do we pick it? So as a data scientist, so we have to choose the best beta naught and beta 1, so that we can serve the data estimate, that is x1, y1, x2, y2, and so on. So you can write a matrix notation for this. Y is equal to x into beta. So now the rest of the things is fitting the model. So fitting the model means, how do we calculate beta? So the intuition behind the linear regression is that to find the line that minimize the distance between all the points and the line. So the distance between the point and the line should be minimum. So we must select beta like that. So that is what about fitting the model. So many lines, look approximately correct, but the goal is to find only optimal solution. So optimal could mean different things. So optimal means it can be an average, it can be a mean of the line that is closest to all the points. But how do we measure that it is close? So linear regression wants to find the line that is minimizes the sum of squares of the vertical distance between the approximated or predicted yi's and the observed yi. So the distance between the point and the line, their squares, sum with all the points, that should be minimum. So that is what is required. So now this is like this. If we consider this particular one line, so this is based on the least square estimation. So least square estimation is nothing but the sum of the squares of the vertical distance between the predicted yi and the observed yi. So predicted means it is on the line. So on the line we'll plot what is the distance that each point is making with this. So why we are taking the square? Because when we square a value, irrespective of whether it is negative or positive, it becomes positive. So we will not have any confusion. So that's why the squares are used everywhere. So it is the sum of the square of the vertical distance between the approximated and the observed y value. So this method, can minimize the errors, and it is called as a least squares estimation. So the line is closest of all the points. So this one is there. To find this line, we will have to define a term that is called as a residual sum of squares. So residual sum of squares. So it is denoted as RSS. So residual sum of squares of beta is equal to yi minus beta into xi squares. So you can see here this RSS in this formula, the sigma I indicates it is a summation, right? So summation. Then yi is a one particular point. So this yi is the actual point. Beta xi is a predicted point based on the equation, right? So beta xi in our formula it is y is equal to beta naught plus beta 1 x. So if we remove the constant part, that is the intercept, we are left with beta 1 x. So beta xi is the predicted y value. So this is the actual or observed y value, predicted y value, their difference we are finding and we are squaring it. So this will give the distance. So this is the sum of the squares of the distance. So anyway, both are y value only. This is the observed and this is one is a predicted. Y is equal to mx, that is what the linear equation. So beta xi, so predicted value. So one is the observed value, another one is the predicted value. Predicted value means it lies on the line. So we are drawing a line, which means we are predicting that the point will be on that particular line. If there is a deviation, then we have to take the difference. So that difference square, then you sum all the differences. So that becomes the residual sum of squares. So sum of squares and residual. So here I ranges over all the data points. So it is a sum of all the square vertical distances between the observed point and any given point on a line. Note that this function of beta, that is what we want to optimize to find the optimal line. So how do we optimize it? So to minimize this beta, so we'll use a differentiate, that is y minus beta x to transpose then y minus beta x. So differentiate it with respect to beta. So perform the differentiation operation, beta set it to 0 and solve for beta, we'll get the equation, that is beta cap is equal to x transpose x inverse then x to the power of t and y. So we'll get the beta value. So but what happens, these are all the mathematical equations, but fortunately all these are already implemented in the programming languages. So we'll just go give the values, it will automatically draw the line with everything. All beta values will be calculated by the programming language library itself. So we need not worry about these things. Okay. So the same thing can be modeled in Python. Okay, so our R code, so the same thing. So that can be fit and all the betas can be used. So the sample values can be taken as 2 rows for that particular one. So we can draw the graph in R language. Okay. So that will give us the estimated lines also with some number of graphs actually. So a particular R programming code would be like this. So model lm of x then y, then this is the already studied this particular symbol. Okay, so that is grouping based on this. So then formula, we are calling a method, the coefficients that will give the values. So coefficient values. You can just simply run this example. So the estimated value, so will get printed over here, intercept and the x value. So this is the slope and intercept. So 32.08, 45.92. So if when we plot the graph, it will be like this. So this is the line, and here the time spent versus second. So this is the frequency. So for on the fitted line, we can see that any fixed value of 5, no, the value of y will just vary. For people with 5 new friends, so we display their time spent on the plot graph. Okay, so this is the one instance, 5. So 5 new friends. So what is the time spent? So that this linear line indicates. So for this particular example, we can also extend beyond least square. So what we have is the simple linear regression model. So we can have other things also. Okay. So we can discuss those in our next class. So you can enter your attendance in the chat and exit for today.